Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another game I played on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. This time around I'm going to be using my Anti-Blastoise deck. Now, you might be wondering, what in the world is that? Well, it is just a deck with Virizion and Mewtwo, and that's it. I play 3 of the Leaf Wallop Virizion. I was unfortunate enough to start with the Sacred Sword Virizion, but I'm going first, so as long as my opponent doesn't get a turn 2 Keldeo with 5 energy on it, I should be just fine. I have the water resistance and the Eviolite, so I can withstand a big Secret Sword from Keldeo. And, if I can get 3 energy on this Virizion, I can start using Sacred Sword for 200 damage to knock out a Keldeo EX. And that is the whole point of this deck. Just target down Keldeos. You can Leaf Wallop with the other Virizion. You can Sacred Sword with this one, and then basically you just want to use one of Virizion, and then you use Mewtwo the rest of the way. So you use 1 Grass Pokemon and 3 Mewtwo's, and that's how you win. So here I have a catcher. I'm going to Juniper, so I might as well just probably use the catcher. I don't really know if I should do that, but whatever. Now I'm debating whether or not to bench the Boufflant. I do put an Eviolite on it, and then just Juniper. And I can see my opponent is not playing a standard deck by any means. He is just playing Keldeo, Blissey, and I'm going to assume Pokemon Center and other healing cards. But we don't care about healing cards when we do 200 damage. My opponent is actually Slowduck. His name is Rob Downs. He's a player from the Illinois, Chicago area. So I know Rob pretty well. And we'll see how this matchup goes. I'm threatening that turn 2 Sacred Sword for, like I said, 200 damage. And we'll see if I can pull this one off. So he gets a Blissey off. If you don't know what that does, it does Soft Boil. The ability, you can use it every turn. If you flip heads, you heal 30 from your active Pokemon. So it's a pretty nice ability, but of course it's a flip. So, I don't know. Now Rob actually decides to rush in with his other Keldeo and then rushes back in. This is a pretty risky maneuver, I must say. He's going to Secret Sword for 30, and geez, you can see I have 3 plus powers in my hand. So I am going to Skyla for a switch, of course. And then we're just going to go ahead, attach that DCE and Sacred Sword for 200 damage, knocking out Keldeo EX. I gotta tell you, it feels pretty good. I'm sure everybody at this point in the format knows how it feels to be staring down a Keldeo EX, which is just beating you down with that Secret Sword. And when you can one-up him with a Sacred Sword, that feels even better. So I'm going to take 2 prizes right away, take out all of his energy, and this is the power of Virizion. Virizion is not very good against, well, anything. But it is decent against Keldeo, and that is honestly the only point of this deck. I got tired of losing to Blastoise, and Rob saying, oops, I thought you were playing the other Virizion. The Leaf Wallop one, not the one that does 100 damage. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have done that. But, yeah, honestly, the only goal of this deck is to beat Blastoise. This has no other goal, and okay, I have drawn my 4th plus power now. Interesting. I don't really know how to react to this. I can Juniper this all away, but this is pretty annoying. I might honestly just wait and then Sacred Sword next turn, because you can only do it once a turn, unfortunately. You have to switch out in order to use it again the following turn. Now I could, retreat, discard the DCE, switch up to Virizion again, drop all my plus powers, and then just Juniper, hoping to get at least an energy or, in a perfect world, a catcher. But, my opponent is very limited, and I can see that. He does not play Blastoise. He doesn't play any way to get additional energy in play. So I'm actually very comfortable with this. This Virizion might actually just take all of my prizes. So I'm in no rush to do anything. Next turn, there's no reason to waste the switch, basically, and, take a risk discarding a bunch of resources. And, Next turn, worst case scenario, I just drop 3+ powers and the Sacred Sword for the knockout. As dumb as that sounds, I might actually just do that. Because, why not? I have an Ultra Ball here. Now, honestly, I don't really know what to do with this hand. You know, if I just get 2 catchers, I win the game, knocking out 2 Keldeo EXs with Sacred Sword. It's just kind of awkward because I really want to use my plus powers, and I have all 4 in my hand, and I'm gonna have to discard all of them. It's just not fair, okay? I shouldn't have 4 plus powers in my hand when I don't need them. This is Pokemon TCG Online shuffling for you. Now I'm gonna discard a plus power and Juniper here. I'm honestly just gonna grab probably another Mewtwo and put it down, but I'm honestly just trying to Bianca into like a catcher so that I don't have to worry about playing all my plus powers this turn. But you know what, I'm just going to do it anyway. YOLO, we're going to triple plus power Bianca for 5. I didn't want to discard the switch, honestly, because that's going to be my most useful tool here. And there we go. I'm just going to Sacred Sword for 130 with 3+ powers. Boom. Virizion is cleaning up. And what is Rob going to do next? And he just says, Rob just says, good game, well played. These are 3 of my least favorite Pokemon to face. Virizion, Bouffalant, and Mewtwo. Alright, so now we got the Virizion up there. I do have 2 switches in my hand, so as long as I don't get knocked out, I should be able to just, you know, take down his Keldeo EX next turn. Seems pretty straightforward. We have a Juniper from Rob. And yeah, you can see he plays all sorts of potions, Pokemon Centers, Blissey. It's a creative deck. It just unfortunately loses to anything that knocks out Keldeo in 1 hit. And he actually takes back the Sigilif. Realizes, oh yeah, your Virizion can do 100 damage. Oops. And this is just kind of entertaining to me to see what an underused Pokemon like Virizion can do if given the time to set up. You know, this isn't a Blastoise Keldeo deck, but you can just see how good it is against Keldeo in general. If I can just knock out 1 Keldeo in 1 hit with this thing, it's done its job. It's traded 2 prizes for 1, and then from there I can just clean up with Mewtwo's. That is the goal of the deck. You know, normally it would be open up with Leaf Wallop on Virizion, the other one, and you can hit a Keldeo for 80, and then if they knock that out, you can just Mewtwo the rest of the way. X-Ball should be enough to win you the game. But, if they don't take out your Virizion turn 2, you have an immense advantage. And now we'll see what I decide to do here. I do have a switch. I should probably just attach to the active retreat and then switch back up. But, I am kind of afraid of not drawing a catcher here. So let's see, I'm gonna Ultra Ball away my N and my 3rd Mewtwo, because, you know, why do I need that anymore? We'll probably just grab a Virizion and bench it. At this point, it really doesn't matter. And, you know, I might need that in case of Rob playing an N. You know, if he gets 1, then I might just be able to double draw my way out of it. And, alright, I do draw a catcher. And Rob says, there he is, the Leaf Wallop guy. So I'm definitely going to catcher up Keldeo this turn. And then I realize, oh, I forgot, I can't Sacred Sword this turn. Oops. So now I'm going to have to switch. And then I'm thinking about, do I want to double switch here? Or do I want to just retreat and keep my extra switch so that next turn I can just switch again and Sacred Sword for the game? And, you know, I decided just retreat. I only actually play 3 switches in this deck because you don't honestly use Sacred Sword very often. Usually you're just attacking with your active over and over, whether it's X-Ball or Leaf Wallop. So I decided to hold on to that last switch. Sacred Sword again for 180 damage, and at this point Virizion has taken 5 prizes. When have you ever seen a Sacred Sword Virizion take this many prizes? Just doing 100 to the face can be pretty powerful, I guess. And we're seeing that here. We get my pretty looking Shaman EX out of the prizes. It's another way to deal with Keldeo. And now what does Rob do from here? He goes for the long distance hypnosis with Muna again and fails once again, but he does have an N. It's going to get him 6 cards. It's going to get me 1 card. I do draw a grass, so I'm going to be able to double draw at the very least. Rob does wake up, and yeah, I'm probably just going to retreat this turn, and then double draw with Virizion, try to get me a catcher to win the game. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So benching that Virizion, this is exactly what it was for. Just to prepare for an end to 1 to make this an easy win. And you can see there I have the cards to win. I have a Computer Search and a Skyla. But Rob ends me again to 1 card, but it's a catcher. So if I just draw an energy, I will win now. If I don't draw an energy, I will just double draw again. Pretty straightforward. So I really don't know what Rob's going to do. He's got the Blissey up there who can just kind of tank for a while. And now, let's see. He just passes. I wake up and I draw grass. So, pretty lucky. But, you know, I was probably going to win regardless if the game progressed. So this is just kind of getting it over early on. And there we go. The Sacred Sword Sweep. 7 prizes for 1 Virizion. What do you know? So you can see the grassland Pokemon dominates Keldeo in this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was a little entertaining. I did 800 damage that game, apparently. And you can see the power of Virizion. You know, now that Plasma Storm's coming out, this deck probably won't have any more chances to shine, but I just wanted to give it its moment of glory before the format changes again. So I am Pooka. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.